Hi everyone, wait a second, different setting. We are in my kitchen today, but same mission. We're going to talk about how to slay some dragons and how to find your fairy tale. So we're shaking things up a little bit. Tonight we're talking to Chef Jeff Philbin. You might know him from the reality cooking competition show on Fox, Master Chef. But I was lucky enough to meet him as a news anchor and reporter here because he always had great ideas on how to save time and money with different recipes. And he and I even faced off once with whether a crock pot or an Instapot could make better food. So all of the important things, right? What I love about Jeff is he has a ton of fun with whatever he does. The only thing he loves more than food and people are when you put food and people together. And those are my favorite things too. So let's bring him in now and get him live because we are going to cook some dinner. Okay, go live with Philbin. We're going to cook some dinner. We're going to slay some dragons and we are going to have some fun. I can't tell you a time that we haven't laughed a lot. Hey friend, how are you?
Hey, what's going on?
Well, you know, I haven't seen you in reality. So here we are in virtual reality and I
know.
will take it. Your
I
kitchen
love
is
it.
beautiful. I want your kitchen.
Thank you. I'm really, really fortunate. It's like, you know, being Mr. Tampa, all these countertops were actually reclaimed from the old city of Tampa courthouse. So it's
so
a pretty
cool.
cool thing to have a little bit of Tampa in the kitchen. And you're right. I love this kitchen. And I'm glad that you can enjoy it too right here from afar as everyone joining us right here on Instagram. So from our kitchens, my kitchen, your kitchen, our kitchens, to all of you at home, thanks for stopping by.
Yes, we're going to have some fun tonight. I'm super excited. I was telling everybody a little bit about you. You know, I got to meet you when I interviewed you for the news, but obviously other people might recognize you from your stint on a reality show.
That's right.
With a really pleasant, laid back guy named Gordon Ramsay. He's not hard on anybody, right?
No, I mean, he's absolutely not hard on anyone. Hint, hint, wink, wink. No, but he's been a huge driver in everything that I've been able to accomplish. And he keeps motivating me. We still talk to this day. He knows everything that's happening here in the Tampa Bay area.
Yeah.
He's so proud of what's going on and how I've been able to be a part of that. And so, you know, if he takes an investment in you, you better make sure that you can return on that investment because he's a part of my life forever. And I'm forever grateful to have that as someone who's supporting me, still believes in me, still is a part of my life, still connects with me. So,
hey,
yeah,
the
really,
tough
really
love
special.
thing is real. The tough love thing is real. And some of us respond to that kind of literal fire just being lit. And that's why I'm super excited to talk to you tonight when it comes to finding our fairy tales and staring our demons down and slaying those dragons. All of us have doubt. I want to bring people up to speed, first of all, though, what you're up to right now.
Yeah. So I've been really fortunate to have been a part of some great things here in the business community. And we're offering a lot of cooking classes that are online. You know, a lot of corporate parties have been canceled because of COVID and with social distancing. So we're able to do things remote and we're having some fun with that. Doing some great things over at the Epicurean as a venue. So that way then we can have multiple camera angles, a great space to work with. And we can do things just like this, but on a little bit larger of a scale. And we could do it for companies that are looking to do great things with their employees, to celebrate them, to still have a sense of fun, camaraderie, and some teamwork. And so, you know, we've created some great menus and recipes and some courses that can be able to really inspire the team to come together as one unit.
And we have some of those recipes tonight. I'm so excited. You know what's funny? I'm just I have the volume down really low, which is not a good thing because I want to hear everything you say. There we go. So close up as I play with the volume. But I think that it's super exciting that we're going to cook together during this time of social distancing because we have to find creative ways to think outside the box. You've always given back to charity. You've always wanted to be involved in the community. So I'm super excited you took some time out. For people who don't know you, can I just ask you a bunch of fun questions and we'll just get to, they're not about anything major. I won't ask you any tough stuff.
Absolutely. And you know what? If anyone inside this whole Instagram live also wants to ask me anything too at the same time, chime along in the whole conversation and let's have this be a really healthy way to have some fun with everybody. So if there's something that we don't cover but you've been dying to know, I'm all ears and all open
Right.
to
I mean,
answer
that's
as
the
many
fun thing
questions I
about this
can.
is it's a two-way street now, and you can ask questions and we will answer them. I'll answer. Jeff and I are pretty much open books. Anybody who knows us knows that. So ask us whatever you want. So how about some fun stuff? Ready?
I love it.
Hot or cold weather?
Ooh, I got to admit, being born up in Connecticut, I was the only person in high school that I had to go to senior skip day because I had pretended to be my father on the phone too many times because I was pretending to not be at school while I was going skiing, and so I really do miss some cold weather. But it's kind of nice. So I'm right now in this little bit of a hit of wanting to be in snow and seeing that.
Yeah.
So I'm just right now in my headspace, cold weather.
Cold weather. Okay. Okay. All right. Cold weather. Night owl or morning person?
Night owl, for sure. I mean, right now, I've always been that night owl since I was a little kid. I was watching Johnny Carson. And so, I mean, here I am, probably the same age as my son Holden, watching Johnny Carson when you probably shouldn't be watching it at midnight. But as I've grown up as an adult, mornings are definitely that much easier. They used to be harder, but I still would take over a night than a morning any day.
All right, then. Speaking of night owls, coffee or tea to wake up in the morning?
I gotta go with coffee, and I gotta just drink it black. I used to have to, get rid of the coffee flavor, as much cream and sugar as possible, but cut that out. Just drinking black coffee nowadays. It's funny because I do want to get into drinking tea. I used to. So if there's anybody out there in the Tampa Bay community that could really kind of bring me into the tea world here and really kind of help me and shepherd me along that path, I would absolutely be all ears to it. And literally.
Oh, and Jeff, you just froze. And the funny thing is, I don't know if you froze on everybody's or just mine, but he froze like guilty as charged. Hey guys, anybody who's watching, shoot me a little message. Has Jeff frozen completely for you? Or is it just for me? I think maybe he wants a high five. High five. Nope. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and X him out and then let him join back in because we need to hear. I'm going to remove Chef Jeff because he froze like this. We caught him in the act of, I don't even know what. And now we're going to wait for him to join back in. So here he is. Hold on. This is the fun of all of these things. View, request, live. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, how close can I get awkwardly saying yes? I'm literally, do you guys see what I'm doing? I'm literally saying yes, 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 let him in. And it's not letting him in. Oh my gosh. Chef Jeff, who did you tick off in the Instagram world that you're not add? Okay, waiting. They filtered you out. They're mad because you didn't cook them dinner yet. Whose feelings have you hurt? Here you are. I see your kitchen.
I don't know what happened right there. So we lost you there.
It was so funny.
I was
So
frozen. So do we pick it up right here?
You froze like this. And I was like, I don't know what you want. Do you want a high five? Do you
Boom,
want to
boom.
dance? Is this your dance move?
I think we're bringing back the Macarena. I think we're going to bring back the Macarena at some point. My hands were in that motion, apparently.
We were just asking fun questions. So you had said you wanted an education in tea. My next question is, what's your favorite smell?
What is my favorite smell? Okay, so there was a candle that I actually got from Marshall's, and it was lavender and sandalwood, and it was a candle company from California that I cannot find. They've repackaged it. It's gone, and that was the best scent. And it's one of those things where it's Marshall, so like you might find two of them, and so I bought all two of them at the same time, and that's it. That's the entire collection. So lavender and sandalwood. Favorite scent.
Those are good smells. I have like a similar pineapple candle that I had once in my life. It wasn't like bad pineapple. It was like magical island breeze, vacation in the air. It made me instantly relax, and I've never been able to find that candle either, darn Marshalls, because it's like these magical things that are on their way out.
Exactly, exactly. They get you every time.
Perfect Saturday night.
Perfect Saturday night is definitely being with the family. Yeah. Strolling down, being downtown Tampa would be really fun. Having some dinner, and then hitting up the Riverwalk. Certainly when the weather cools down, and being able to see something kind of fun like Gasparilla Music Festival or something like that, and just bringing everyone together, being around an environment that is full of culture and community and fun, and there's an energy. That's really something special to me. I feed off of that energy a lot, so that's really cool. if, we could be having, some form of a watch party for the Lightning through the playoffs. I remember last season, that was a lot of fun being down there at Curtis Dixon Park. So things of that would be really the way to go. But, as I've grown, I wouldn't trade any of the time away from being Holden with Beth. And it's really special when the three of us are having a lot of fun. And, COVID has really allowed us that opportunity to do that. We've been going out on our scooters. He's got a little scooter, and then Razor scooters are now big for adults because us kids, we grew up apparently, and now we've got kids, so now we've got scooters, and we literally have done that. We've taken the scooters down to Curtis Dixon, as a matter of fact. We've taken him out in the neighborhood, and he's really into superheroes, so he wears a cape at all times, and we are all wearing capes too, and we're going out there. And,
oh, that's awesome!
The torch has been passed. Yeah, it's been fun.
Speaking of favorite characters and superheroes, do you have a favorite fairy tale?
My favorite fairy tale would be, I don't know.
We can think about it. We can think about it and get cracking on cooking while we talk.
I think I need to think about my favorite fairy tale. I think I've got, isn't Hansel and Gretel, isn't that one? Isn't that
I mean, a candy house, you get lured in by a witch, and then you trick that witch, and it all winds up with a sordid affair of witch is gone in the oven.
Yeah, so I think that ties in food. So let's just go with that. Yeah,
exactly. Let's go with Hansel and Gretel. I like it. So some good friends of mine back in Boston are weighing in. They want to know if you have ever had shrimp Alfredo. Yeah,
that was actually the first thing that I've ever made, and that was what lured me into cooking.
Oh my gosh, that's so random. Okay.
When I was in high school, I had that first real girlfriend, and you're in that transition from a boy to what you think is a man. And so I said to myself and to my mom, I need your help. I want to cook a dinner for that girl at the time. And I learned how to make a shrimp Alfredo from scratch. And I was hooked. I love that process. I love the idea of using your hands and your heart for someone else. So yeah, I'm very, very much in tune with that dish. It brings a fondness to me, not because of the relationship, but because of what that relationship has stirred in me. That food is something special to be celebrated. Food is something
currency, isn't it? It's currency to say, I care about you, you're my friend, I love you, you're my family, let's hang out. 100%,
I love it too. 100%. I think that's what food allows you to have, is just that gateway into someone else's heart. And it's through your hands and through your mind and your ability that you're able to create great dishes that, you put all of your love into it. And in that experience and in that moment, you can create something special.
Let's put some love and create something special tonight. And then I want to talk a lot about how you got to where you are today, because it's certainly, for anyone who's just joining us now, to be a reality show contestant when you had never even watched the reality show, and not only a contestant, but take it all the way to being a finalist is a heck of a Find Your Fairy Tale story to me. So why don't we get everything ready? If anyone's joining us, I kind of cheated a little bit and did some sous chefery.
Okay, all right. You got a little head start.
But you're gonna have to. Oops, I just cut off my head. Bear with me, guys. This is like a new setup here. Nope, still not in the shot. All right. What happened? Everything fell down. Well, you're the guy who they need to hear from anyway. So tell everyone what they should be doing, my friend.
So right now, all I'm doing right now, if you're bringing your stuff over, if you haven't had a chance to start preparing any of this.
Oh my gosh, you froze again. This is so great. Ready? This is going to be, I have a challenge for all of you guys. We need to take screen grabs of Jeff every time he freezes, and then we need to turn it into a Macarena type dance. So the first one was like this. Now this one is like this. So we're going to remember it. And now I'm going to hang up on him again so he can call back and tell us. You are not going to like what I cook as much as what he cooks. I actually don't follow recipes. How many of you guys follow recipes like to the T? And how many of you just kind of make it up as you go? Or is it a mix of both? For me, I follow recipes when it's something brand new, but a lot of the time I modify even that. And then other times I just look in the refrigerator and I see what we have, and I'll Google, the combination of ingredients and see if there's an idea. And my co-author weighs in. She says, a recipe. And I know this because she really likes outlines and plotting ahead of time. And then I'll give her one of my chapters for our book. And she's like, where did this come from? Was this in the outline? And I said, we don't have to stick to the outline. She's like, but we have to. So no, we don't. We wrote it. We get to change it. but I'm the one who kind of changes it a lot. Okay, let's let Jeff back in. Nope, he's not in yet. Okay, hold on. We're waiting. I mean, at some point, I'm just going to have to cook. You know what? I realized I was about to run away, too. I was going to run away and get my chicken out because I forgot to pull the chicken out of the fridge. And right as I did that, I lost Jeff. So what are we going to do? The fun thing about cooking with Jeff is he actually is very similar to me. He likes to make up the recipe as he goes along. So what he'll do is he'll come up with like flavors that he thinks kind of go together. And then he'll like to throw in that one weird thing. And so that's why I thought, especially for Find Your Fairy Tale too, I mean, the fact that we're doing an apricot glazed, oh, we have to talk about this too, an apricot glazed chicken. And then we've got this like pickled red onion. So we've got like the sour, the sweet, the savory, you know, all the little things that life give you. But yeah, we have to talk about apricot. Who says apricot? Come on, show of hands. Let me see. Wave at me. Do you say apricot? Am I saying it wrong if I say apricot? Am I super New Englander? Apricot, or is apricot just a weird way of saying it? I need people to weigh in here. Hi to everybody tuning in. If you're just joining us now, I would like to let you know that Jeff stormed out. He said, I'm leaving. I'm never coming back. No, he lost his signal because Wi-Fi can be tricky, and we're waiting for him to ask to join back in. So as soon as he's here, we're going to keep talking to him about his whole story and his trajectory. And he's requesting to join right now. Let's see if we have him back. And then I'm going to yell at him and say, you are never allowed to leave again. So anyway, the fun thing about Jeff too, we started to say at the beginning, he actually didn't even know what the show was about. And hey, Fred, did you just want to like start cooking without me? I was about to run away and go get my chicken out of the fridge. And as I'm running, I see this.
It's so fun because like I've got the headphones in so I can make sure I've got good audio.
Yeah.
And I've got like cameras everywhere. And I've got like you right here on a tripod, but I've got the camera facing me, but not the screen side. So it's just like here, I'm like thinking to myself, oh, she's just letting me talk for a little bit. She's just letting me go. And I'm like, hello, is anybody really there? So I go on the other side and like, nobody's there, black screen, like, cool.
So let's get caught up. I am now going to, I'm walking this way, I'm getting my chicken, and it's all you. Get everyone started with where they need to be.
Perfect. So, you know, as I was kind of going, and again, I apologize, everybody. The wonders of technology through a pandemic, right? All I've done is with my chicken breast, I just put some salt and pepper on both sides, and I'm just letting them be. I took my vinegar, and this vinegar is where I want to make sure that I've got time management coming into my play of hands here. So I just took a little bit of some white wine vinegar, a little red wine vinegar, a little apple cider vinegar, and I had already pre-measured out some of my ingredients that I was going to be adding into it, which were going to be some garlic, some cloves, some juniper berries, some peppercorns, some sugar, some salt, and some crushed red pepper flakes. Bring that up to a boil, which I've been able to just do. I'm going to turn it off for a second because what we're going to be doing next is getting our onions going. And I'm going to just bring the camera along on my side here as we switch from side to side here so you can see what's going on here. And hopefully y'all can be able to see this part. So all I'm going to be doing right here is just taking my red onion, and you just need one red onion, and we're just going to cut right off the top and the bottom here. I'm just going to...
Am I the only one who's still on the salt and pepper part?
For the chicken?
Yes.
It's all about the management. It's all about the time management.
Wait for me.
Where are you at? You're in the salt and pepper phase?
I am, but I'll catch up. You go along with the more astute students here. I'm turning on the stove. There's that part.
Okay, cool. I'll slow down then. And then how about this? We'll take a question from the field. So that way then if anyone has a question out there in Instagram live world, throw them your way. Sorboni, you've got to make sure that you're the moderator of that.
Yeah.
Just because I can't see on the other side of the screen if
right.
anyone's typing anything in.
So, no, it's fine. You just keep cooking and I'll catch up and figure it out after.
Okay. So then what I've got here is I've got that pickle mixture. Again, a little bit of some red wine vinegar, a little bit of some white wine vinegar, a little apple cider vinegar. Brought those three vinegars together with a boil. A bit of sugar, some salt, some crushed pepper flakes, some garlic cloves, some juniper berries, some cloves, and some salt. A little bit of some dried seasonings, some herbs. You can get away with a little bit of some Italian seasoning in your cabinet if you'd like. And all I'm just doing is just letting that to my side here as I get my onions going. So
which one's better, Jeff? Are we going with the white one, the rice vinegar, or are we doing the apple cider?
I did a little bit of all three in mine.
Okay,
But
we'll
you
do
can have a lot of fun going with what you'd like. So all we're going to be doing is just doing some nice, beautiful onion slices here. And I'm going to throw these into a nice bowl. I'm just going to throw these right into the bowl here. I want to kind of break them apart because this is going to be that nice pickled red onion. And here we go.
You want to see how I measure again?
Let's do it. Rice wine vinegar works very well as well. You can certainly use that. I use that. I just was in a mood today to kind of play around with a few different flavors as I was been kind of going through the house, and I was like, there's just a little bit of this, there's a little bit of that. I need to kind of play with that. So I kind of just did just that. So all I did was I just added our onions, our sliced onions, and you just want to do some really nice half moons here. That's really it. So what's that, about 1/8 of an inch or so? And all I'm just going to do is just throw them into our bowl here. I'm going to break them apart with my hands first.
All right, hey Jeff, do me a favor. Can you push your camera down a little bit, and then that way people can see the chopping a little bit more?
Yeah.
And by people, I mean me.
Let's see.
There we go. Awesome.
Let's see. Is that good?
Perfect. Love it.
All right. Perfect. So all I'm just doing is I'm just breaking those out with my hands here. I just want to be able to get that pickled mixture here inside our onions here. And once I've done that, I'm just going to pour it straight in. I'm just going to pour it straight in.
You pour what you just boiled on the stove right on top of the onions?
That's right. And all I'm going to be doing is just
as soon as it's boiling. All right, my
mixture's
boiling. Do I pour it in?
You certainly can. If you got your onions sliced, go right ahead.
I did some things ahead of time here.
I love it.
All right.
You can pour it straight onto your onion.
Okay, here it comes. I feel like I might need more, but that would probably help if I had time to measure. Let's see. I'm adding some more. It looks like it needs it. Was I supposed to put sugar in here?
Yeah, a little bit of sugar. Crushed
That's what I thought.
Salt.
That's what we're missing.
Because
all right,
all of that acid is going to.
There we go. Putting some sugar in. Question for you, Jeff, as we're cooking all this stuff. Did you make up most of the recipes that you were doing on reality TV because you had ingredients that were so challenging? Yeah. Or were you pulling from things that you'd learned over the years?
That's a great question. So it's a little bit of everything. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about skill and ability. You had some people that would, be thinking like, I have to cook a specific recipe, a specific dish that I have to nail. Who's to say that you're ever going to be able to be in that situation with that ingredient or needing that preparation to be able to accomplish what you think you can be able to do? So my approach was, if you don't have it, then you don't have it. And if you don't have it, goodbye. So you just need to kind of work with what you have from a skill level.
And I'm going to pause you there because I feel like that's such an important takeaway. We're talking about cooking, but when you're talking about life too, you have what you have what's in front of you. You have to make some sort of, good combination, some sort of recipe that works in the moment. So I think that's a fun way to approach any sort of goal. It's like you look and you go, okay, what's in my refrigerator? What did Gordon Ramsay just throw down in front of me and say, make me something delicious?
And that's it. And I mean, you have to kind of think about it from the basic principles, and that should be applied with anything in life. I mean, are you going to be able to get everything perfect every single time? Absolutely not. But if you know the cores behind it, like I need to be able to taste a little bit of acid. I need to be able to taste a little bit of fat. I need to be able to taste a little bit of salt. I need to be able to enjoy and preserve the beauty of whatever that ingredient is that for us, we needed to celebrate, or that preparation that we needed to highlight. Those are the core ideas that you should be focusing in on. And if you apply that with any basic principle in life, I think that you'll be okay.
I love that. I love that so much. And it's such a good way to just sort of deal with what you're thrown in life and make the best of it. So, okay, have I caught up to you? I think I have. I've got the onions ready to go.
So if you've got that going, just make sure that all of those ingredients are all tossed together. I want to be able to really get a beautiful onion salad here, because these tomatoes later on, once this little bit of our pickling juices here start to really cool down, then we'll throw the tomatoes into it, and it'll take on even more flavor. But what we can start doing, and I'm going to bring the camera back over to the burners here for me, and for all of you at home that are following along and watching, here's where we can have a lot of fun. So if you already had that pan or that, that pot that you were using from before, give it a quick little rinse out.
Okay.
If you are wanting to kind of follow along. And that's all I just did here. I just rinsed it all out. And all I'm going to be doing is just throwing in some balsamic vinegar. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to reduce this down by half. So we're going to just use that same idea here. We're just going to bring this up. And I'm going to do it about a medium-high heat so I can monitor it as I reduce this down by about half. So I started off here with about a half a cup here. I want about a quarter of a cup. Now, you could cut some corners here.
Now,
you can
did you see his
balsamic.
half a cup and quarter of a cup? And mine was like this. Glug, 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 glug. Looks like half a cup. Welcome to Cooking with Sorboni. Let's cook it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And so all we're going to do is we're just going to monitor that. We're just going to let that be, let that bring up. And as I say, I got that up to about medium-high heat. If I want to play with it, I certainly can. If you're using gas at the house and you want to bring it up to a high and kind of monitor from there, you go right ahead. Instant temperature regulations, I get it. I understand. For me, I just want to be able to keep it at that medium-high heat so I can be able to follow along with everybody at home here just as much here. So we're going to reduce that down. Now, we're also going to start working with what's going to be this beautiful chicken here. And what I really love about this dish is that if you heard earlier, if we weren't broken up when we had some technical difficulties, you know, if you're using chicken thighs, you're using chicken legs, you can use the breast like I'm using today. It's a great dish that you could be able to bring inside your kitchen like what we're doing right now. Or when it is a little bit cooler out, you can easily translate this dish to being outside as well. So this is a great dish to really kind of have some fun with. So all I'm going to be doing, and I've already kind of pre-measured everything out for myself here, is I've got some butter. We've got some balsamic vinegar, a little crushed red pepper flakes that are going to be coming into it. And a star of this is orange marmalade.
There we go. Oh, man. And we lost him again. Ready? So now you're stuck with me. The star of this is butter. One is butter, not the star of everything, right? You know how this goes, guys. Hang out. Hang out while I do this thing, which is I hang up on Jeff. Jeff has to wait until he realizes that he's talking to nobody. Turns around, sees that the screen is black. We get to catch up, which is kind of nice, actually, because I keep falling behind. He, if anything, is maybe the fastest chef that I have ever seen. So he knows how to cook fast on TV. That's what he does. So right now I am reducing down the balsamic vinegar like he told me to do. It was supposed to be, he said about a quarter cup, and I did a glug, 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 because that's how I cook. I think the reason I cook like that actually comes from my dad. He watched his parents in India, his mom in India, cook. And, you know, there weren't really recipes. He grew up in a village, and they were just like literally, you know, cooking for the whole family of 7. And he learned to cook by watching. And so it became very visual. So now when I learned to cook from him, it was how much sugar? And he'd say, enough. And I'd say, how much salt? And he'd say, that much, a pinch, a spoon, you know. And so I learned to cook by how it tasted and how it looked, more so than following directions. So that's why, you know, I do. Some people make fun of me that I never follow a recipe, and how do I get it the same way again? But I remember what I do. If it tastes good, maybe I'll write it down, or I'll just try to do it again and again and again until I see what I have come up with. So here's Jeff back, and he's going to be horrified at like what I've done to his recipe in the meantime. All right. Let's see. Here he comes. Here he comes. I'm stirring. Here he is. Okay, so Jeff, I told him to put in like 3 sticks of butter, like, I don't know, 3 bottles of wine. I had them.
It's actually 2 bottles of wine and 1 giant straw. The 3rd bottle's for you at home because of all the technical difficulties on my end with everything breaking apart. It's funny because I said to myself, you know, make sure that you've got my phone off of Wi-Fi, and that way it's just going off of the cell signal. So that way then it's strong, because, you know, we've all kind of found out that like during this whole time period, signals have been a little bit weak and strange. Yeah. And so I said to myself, no, I'm on Wi-Fi at the house right now to make sure this doesn't happen again. So I apologize, everybody. I hope I didn't leave you hanging inside the kitchen.
No, you just left them hanging with me trying to tell them how to cook, which might be cruel and unusual punishment, but we're figuring it out.
We'll figure it out together.
We will figure it all out. We're pickling some onions, and now we're making some awesome balsamic reduction.
That's right.
You know, while we get set up for the next thing, what do we need people to get ready right now, my friend?
All right. So, you know, as I say, I might have been a step ahead of you on some pieces here. So what we've got here is the orange marmalade, a little bit of balsamic
Flip your
vinegar.
phone, mister. Flip your phone. We're looking at your front door. We want to see your food. Dun, dun, dun. There. I looked up. I was like, wait a second. I don't see food.
I don't see food. I don't even see me there. But we see, you do see is this concoction here. So we've got a little bit of some orange marmalade, balsamic vinegar, a little bit of some Italian seasonings, a little rosemary behind that. Some fresh red pepper.
I was really excited about my fresh rosemary that I got. I never bother with fresh herbs usually because I don't plan in advance enough. I mean, imagine that.
Yep.
But when you mentioned the fresh herbs, I went out and got some today, so I'm super excited to
nice. And this is the perfect piece to be able to have with that, is that it just really brings up such a beautiful, woodsiness behind this dish, is that you get that rosemary that's in there, the crushed red pepper flakes, and then it just contrasts with that nice little bit of sweet and the acidity that's coming through with that orange marmalade and that balsamic vinegar there.
There we go.
So all I'm just doing here is just bringing all those flavors together. I'm just going to, really make sure that I get everything broken up with that nice little bit of that orange marmalade. And that
mine is apricot, by the way, but I think it's going to do the same trick.
100%. You can use apricot. You can use orange marmalade. You want to be able to use a peach. I think we broke up in that moment.
Yeah.
And what I was trying to say was that when you're cooking, have fun with what you at home want to do. Use a recipe as a means to kind of get you to point A to point, L. Doesn't mean you have to follow it all the way through to Z. So
and then this is where I pause you again for my fun Find Your Fairytale stuff. I love that because I think that even with a recipe, so you start off, right, and you think you're going and you're making something, then you don't have an ingredient, or you burn something, or your friend Chef Jeff disappears because Wi-Fi tries to eat him, and you've got to improvise a little bit.
You just go with it. So
yeah, would you say that improvisation is a big thing for you in terms of reaching what you've been able to reach?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you got to be on your feet and on your toes, and you just got to go with it. I mean, if you get caught up in the moment, you're going to really lose everything. It's kind of like that really great quote from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's like, life moves at you pretty fast. If you don't stop to look around, you might miss it. So you know what? Stop and look around. Stop and enjoy the moment. And sometimes you just got to improvise and you got to go with it. Cooking allows you that moment. I don't like baking because of that reason.
I hate baking.
Because it's all science, and I appreciate and respect it, but at the same time, I like to enhance things. If I wanted to throw around and use this to that, you go right ahead and you do it, and you have that moment with cooking. There's a beauty
but with
behind
baking,
that
then all of a sudden your cookies don't rise, and you've got a big hot mess.
Exactly. So I brought everything up to a nice simmering here, and so I know that it's really working well with what's going on with that. The apricot preserves in that balsamic vinegar. If you wanted to have used something else at your home that you wanted to use, you certainly could do that. But the takeaway is something that's going to be acidic, being that balsamic vinegar, and something sweet that's going to be those preserves, that jam, if you will. It's starting to really bubble. It's starting to show all the sugar starting to come out. I'm going to turn it off the heat. And the reason why is I don't want to cook off any of that moisture and really lose some of that liquid. This is at a great point for me.
Is it supposed to be thick, or is it supposed to be kind of like do I need to reduce it down some more?
It's a great question. What I like to do is I like to be able to take the whisk and I'll go straight down. If I can be able to go straight down and have the parting of the Red Sea where it's a little bit slow for it to come back together, I'm at a good place. If I knew that I was getting it right up that point where everything's starting to bubble, I turn the heat off and it's still really kind of getting to thick bubbles, I'm at a good place. If you need
that's
to
perfect
add,
because mine was not that thick, so that's a perfect description, the parting of the Red Sea there, because it was still very like soup.
Absolutely. And I know that where I'm at with my balsamic vinegar that we've just reduced down by half, that is exactly where I want to be. So I'm actually going to take this, I'm going to put this to the side here, let that cool a little bit fast, because we're going to use that when we make that nice little bit of a tomato pickled red onion salad in a little bit. So I've got my sauce all set, done, ready to go. Now I'm working with cast iron, so I've already preheated my cast iron up to just shy of medium, just so that way that I can bring that up to heat. Now, if you're using a nonstick pan, you certainly would want to start now bringing that onto your burner. So that way then we can start getting our chicken going. So I've already had this nice and warm for me. I've got this now up to about a medium, just a little bit above medium, just below medium high heat, a little bit more. And I wanted to make sure I could be able to regulate that oil I want to make sure that I got that pan nice and hot as I brought it up to temp, since it does take a little bit to work with cast iron, but I absolutely love cooking with cast iron here at the house. So I'm going to give everyone that chance at home.
Okay, while they're doing that, let's check in and see if anybody has some questions.
Yeah.
If you're following along, if you have any questions about the recipe, or if you have any questions for Jeff too, keep them coming, because I can see them and I will pass them along to him while he's busy cooking. And then while we heat up the pan for the chicken and get ready, I have to ask you, what was the scariest moment for you on the show? Just to bring people up to speed, basically what happened is your former brother-in-law said, hey, I signed you up for this show. You're going to go do this thing. and you were like, all right, I guess I'll go to Orlando and audition. And the rest was history. Oh, you know what? He froze. And do you know what that means? That means this is the third dance move of Jeff Philbin. So the first one when he froze was this. The second one, I think, was this. The third one is this. So challenge for anybody who's watching right now, put this together in a dance. And I don't know, I'm going to come up with some sort of prize that I promise I really will mail you. Hey, you didn't disappear completely. You're back.
I didn't. It was a great part of it. Like, I was getting excited with the question. And I was like, don't go away, don't go away, don't go away.
I don't even know if you know what we're doing right now, but every time you freeze, I'm considering it a dance move. And I'm challenging people to put it all together like your own Macarena.
I love it because I'm already starting for everybody at home stop motion.
There you go. See, if you do that, I don't know if you're kidding or if that really happened. Did that really happen, guys? I think it really happened. I think he was kidding and then he got stuck. Oh my gosh, that is just perfect timing. Perfect timing right there. All right, let's check on. I'm going to let him reducing. Okay. Remember what Jeff said? He said that it should look like the parting of the Red Sea. And no, mine is still really, really soupy. I probably put too much liquid in there. So it still is cooking away. I really can't wait to put this together as a dance. I really can't. It's going to be so spectacular. I don't know if any of you are good dancers out there and you want to try to do this for me, but I would be eternally grateful. Hi, friend.
I'm dancing now. I get to dance for all of you at home because literally this is, the connection is terrible.
Stop. It's fine. I mean, what are we going to do? It's like you said, it's technology in a pandemic, the way that we're hanging out now. And I'd rather hang out with you and have to keep having you call back than not at all. That's it. So we were talking about, okay, we're heating up our pans for our chicken. Yep. And we were talking about a moment, how you got this call that you were going to be on this show and you hadn't even seen it yet. Tell us that story.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, at the time, my sister was married to a great guy. They no longer are married, but he was a huge part of everything. He signed me up for it. And it's kind of like a lottery ticket. I'm sure a lot of you have at home have either given a lottery ticket to someone or received a lottery ticket from someone in a birthday card. And you think to yourself like, oh, I'm never going to win. And you might not have won. Well, it's the same thing for me. I actually did win though, because I never signed up for the show. My brother-in-law did everything for me. I just went out there and just said, okay, cool. He says, I believe in you. And that was it. And one thing leads to another. And here I am. And I'm out there in California. I'm out there for 2.5 months filming a show that is translated all across the globe. I'm competing for my life. I had a lot of fun with, you know, some new experiences and people and flavors and foods and doing it on the world's grandest stage. And so it was a complete tailspin that I was thrown in, but it's something that I'm forever cherishing. I'm forever remembered for, good and bad. And so I've always just relished in the moment and just had a lot of fun since then and still get to continue to do so. And that's what allows me the opportunity to be here with all of you right now. Is just sharing my love for food and for people.
I think something that a theme that gets repeated is that sometimes it takes other people to see what you love the most and what you're good at and make you get out of your own way. And your case in point, somebody saw what you love and said, hey, I want you to do this. I believe in you. So that's a really important takeaway as well when it comes to you know, all of us is what do we see in our friends too? What are they not doing that we see in them, and how can we help them achieve their long-term, you know, fairy tale, their happily ever after? Because sometimes we just can't see it for ourselves. All right. That's right. The oil is going in too.
Now, if your pans are nice and hot right now, it's the perfect time to start getting your chicken going. So my pan is ready to go, and I've already gone ahead I put my chicken breast down, and I make sure that it goes away. And I want to make sure that happens because I've got a very large pan. I hear the sizzling on your end. I'm sure you at home right now are
You see
also
me
having that
jump?
sizzling with oil. And you want to make sure that you're always cooking smart and safe. And so always push the food away from you, okay? And again, I'm monitoring that temperature. And so I've got mine at just about, again, still keeping it that medium, about medium-high heat.
Okay.
Now, again, if you're using, gas, or if you've got something that your ranges, your ovens a lot stronger and better than I do.
Woo! Listen to that sizzle, guys. Did you
I
ever
love
burn
it.
yourself on the show?
Yeah. It was with candy. I was making and boiling up sugar, and it was something where it was just a fluke accident. I went and couldn't get something out of it, and the spoon was gone. And I literally was just using my hand was just caught because there was not enough surface area between what I was using to spoon something. And it was terrible. I actually had burn cream from cedar cyanide that they actually had to get in because like my hand was all that way. And your natural reaction is to like go, and so my lip was burnt. I mean, it was bad.
Oh, that's hard. Hey, question from our viewers here. Does cooking with a cast iron make a difference?
I find that it does because one, you get a great even temperature for that cooking surface that you're using. If you are working with cast iron, you're able to really get a nice sear really, really well. A lot of people are intimidated by it, but I absolutely love it. I absolutely love cooking with cast iron, and it's one of my favorite things because I'll show you in just a second why I do. I've got about another minute or so on that side of the chicken here.
Okay, while we wait for the chicken to cook, I want to ask you, being on you said it was a grand stage. Being on such a grand stage, that can be really overwhelming, and you can certainly have your doubts about whether or not you belong on that stage. Did you ever have doubts?
Of course. I mean, at the same time of being out there, my son was just born, and so I had doubts of going through with it and continuing at times because I just really wanted to sometimes just be there. And, life doesn't stop, and you are forced to live and work with people that sometimes get under your skin. And, sometimes that was a little bit tough. For me, that was because, I was very fortunate. Everything was taken care of with automatic pay.
Yeah. What did you tell yourself when you wondered, hey, am I doing the right thing? What's something that somebody out there could tell themselves if they get stuck in that rut? Wait for it. Wait for it. He's frozen. Every time I'm digging into his head, he runs away. Knowing when chicken is cooked, guys. I know that we're supposed to be able to know the temperature, but I have to look it up every single time. So I'm just kind of poking at it, and it still feels kind of rubbery. I don't know. We'll see. I got to figure out the temperature here on the thermometer. Let's see if we've got our friend back here. Nope. He'll be back in a minute. The interesting thing, though, about Jeff too on the show is that he was known for saying it like it was. He was very humble on the show on season 8 if you caught him. Very friendly, very outgoing, but also wasn't scared to speak his mind. So I think that's also a big part of when you're pushing for what you want. You have to be willing to be yourself, and you have to be willing to stand up for what you believe in, even on that national stage, international stage, like he was talking about. And it's crazy because you're suddenly catapulted into celebrity, and it wasn't necessarily anything that you were expecting. Hey, friend, you're back.
Hi. 5 times the charm, people. 5 times the charm.
I don't know. I'd like to try to go for 10.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go for a new world record.
Hold on. I had my wine for when we served it. It's called 1,000 Stories. And my goal is to tell 1,000 stories with this.
Okay.
But, I'm about ready to turn you freezing and Instagram kicking you off into a drinking game at this point.
I love it. I think I've become that. I love that. So, the question before was, I'm just going to follow up with it, is about the cast iron. I love cooking with cast iron because of being able to get a beautiful crust like that on this chicken. And you could be able to apply that to a beautiful fish. You can do that with a beautiful steak. Cast iron for me is the way to go. But I've been,
Yeah, mine doesn't look like that. It doesn't have that crust at all. It has a nice brown, but I'm using a non-stick, and you can see the difference.
Okay,
but
okay.
The question I was trying to ask you before you ran away from me was, how do you, when those doubts come up, and you're like, hey, I'm competing. Like, this is the moment.
Yeah.
I don't have time to second guess myself. If there's somebody out there who's thinking like, all right, I don't know if I should go through with this, what is a thought process that could get them over that hump?
A great question. When I was in college, I was at the Columbia restaurant. I used to wait tables through college up in St. Augustine. And I had a manager who was one of those influential men at the right time in my life. I had a lot of different letters that used to come in from guests and from events, because I used to run all the events at that location. And I used to get a lot of letters that were sent into the company saying, he's a treasured employee. He's an asset to you guys. This was the best. And I was very fond of those letters. And it meant a lot when, someone that was having, a wedding rehearsal dinner or some kind of celebration of life or whatever it may have been, just say, hey, we enjoyed our time with Jeff and his team and whatnot. But he said to me, this general manager, in a thick French accent, Jeffrey, you're only as good as your last letter. And that was a huge moment for me to say, okay, John, you're absolutely right. I am only as good. And that's anything in life. Because the moment you get comfortable is the moment you get complacent. The moment you get complacent is the moment you start making mistakes. And the moment you start making mistakes, you're expendable. And so I never want to be expendable. And so, you kind of always had to look at it from that point, that you got to give it your all at all times, because there's going to be someone else after you. So my chicken is perfect right now. I hope yours is at home right now as well. And this is a perfect time for me to turn down that heat and start basting our nice little bit of that sauce right over our chicken here. I'm just going to pour it right on. And just bring it together.
Let's see.
Oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. How's your chicken coming?
It's kind of just sizzling away, but it's still pretty bouncy feeling. I don't know. I have to figure out if it's cooked, but I don't think it's ready for the basting yet.
It's not.
No.
I'm coming around on your side. I'm going to take a look at it. Okay, I see what you got going on over there.
So it's browning, but it's still boing, boing, boing in the middle.
Okay.
All right, what is it supposed to be? What's the internal temperature supposed to be?
165 for a chicken. 165 for a chicken. So if you want to take a look at that, you go right ahead and take a look.
It's going to, I'm only at 98, see? It's very bouncy. What do I do? Oh, no, it's going up. Just kidding.
Chicken is one of those things you always want to make sure that you either have a thermometer or a infrared thermometer readily available, because I don't mess around when it comes to chicken and those temperatures. You always want to make sure that you do bring it up.
Well, don't worry, I'll catch up. We can keep everybody going, because I don't want to hold up the process here with my chicken. It'll come when it's ready. I'll catch up here. All right, where are we? I think the thing that attracted me to this recipe too, Jeff, is that I was saying when I lost you at one point that I love that it's a little bit sour and tangy, and then on the other end we've got the sweets, and we've got all the stuff that life has to offer here, the full palate.
Yeah, and that's a great thing about what food allows you the opportunity to do, is that you can have a lot of fun, you can do a lot of different things all at the same time. So, I mean, that's what we kind of did. We started with this pickling, with making that vinaigrette. We brought in those red onions. We made that balsamic glaze. We've got our chicken that is already nicely cooked or coming up to a nice temperature to do so. And it allows us the opportunity now to kind of finish this dish up. So we had our tomatoes from the side, and all I wanted to do was just go and just kind of core them out. I'm just going to do a quick little coring of our tomatoes. Just going to dig right into it.
Yeah.
Just work the knife around. If you have a paring knife, you can easily do that as well. And all I'm just going to do is I'm just going to go right down the middle. And you can have a lot of fun with this. And just kind of
Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you what just happened to my balsamic reduction. You guys, this is terrible. I followed everything that he said. It's precision measures. And look at what happened. Tomatoes, I'm going to have the big reveal of the terrible thing that happened to my balsamic reduction that's supposed to be glazed. Wait, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I don't even know how to save this. I need him back to tell me how to save that. I think it might be a lost cause. What do you think? Maybe add vinegar, add water? No idea. I think I might have to just start over. This is terrible. Guys, what do you think while we wait for Jeff to come back? Oh, he's coming back right now. Oh, this is tragic. It does. It looks terrible, you guys. I actually really am a good cook when I'm not going to talk at the same time, I swear. Hey, Jeff. Tragedy has ensued while you were gone.
Yeah, is that the Exxon Valdez spill or something like that? Because what is that? What did you have happen there?
I don't know. I think I put too much of the preserves in, or I cooked it for too long.
I leave for just a moment, and whoa!
This is what happens. Do you have any ideas how I can even
happened.
save it, or do I start over?
You know what? It's a time to start over. Was that for the balsamic glaze, or was that the preserves?
That was the preserves.
Throw in a little bit of water. Let's see what happens if you could just rehydrate a little bit. If
Okay.
you had a chicken stock that's inside your fridge, that would be okay. A vegetable stock would be really, really nice to it as well.
Okay.
So just bring a little bit of liquid. Let's see what happens there and taste it. If it tastes accurate, if it tastes a little bit burnt, throw it away, restart. But a little bit of liquid, just rehydrate what you've gotten. Because you probably had the temperature a little too high and those sugars have just cooked it down a little bit too much. But let's see what happens if we just rehydrate it just a little bit.
I like your positive outlook on life, but guys, I'm going to go ahead and say that, like, this is a life lesson. Like, sometimes if what you're trying to do winds up looking like this, know when to call and walk away. Oh, man. This is bad. I have no idea how that would even begin to be salvaged. Hey, before we wind up having to go, because our hour is going to be used up pretty soon, let's plate the food, because I know it's going to look so good when you do it. And I'm curious if you came up with any other advice on how to save my meal.
So all I'm just doing here is I'm just taking our nice little bit of our tomato salad here. I'm just going to put that straight to the side. Now, if you want to have a nice serving platter, you can obviously do that. You want to keep it right in the bowl, you can easily do that as well. But I'm just going to bring that over to the platter here. Just going to take some fresh basil. And I'm just going to tear that and just rip that off and kind of just throw that as it where it lands and just have a little bit of fun. We're just going to finish it off with just a little bit of some cheese here. Now, if you wanted to use a nice, if you couldn't find the ricotta salate, that's okay. You can also just use a nice little bit of mozzarella, but a nice soft, creamy
That's so pretty.
cheese would be really, really nice. We're just going to put that to the side. We have one of our chicken here. Oh, this is beautiful. We're just going to do a nice little bit of some slices here. Oh, yeah.
This might be the most saddest thing I've ever cooked in my whole entire life. This might be the worst thing ever.
Oh, it's all good. As long as the biggest takeaway when it comes to food is this. As long as you're having fun in the process, that's all that matters. You might have cooked down a sauce a little too long. That's okay. It happens to everybody. You might skip a step and it doesn't taste what you think it was going to taste. That's okay. As long as you're enjoying the process, that's what food is all about. Cooking is a journey, and at some point there's going to be mistakes that are going to be made, and it's just what you do with it.
And see, that's the philosophy, Jeff. That's why I love talking to you, because whether it's cooking or whether it's life and whether it's, chasing our dreams to be a professional chef or an author or a dancer or whatever it is that you want to be, you're going to make mistakes. Sometimes you can fix it. Sometimes you've got to roll with it. Sometimes you can't. But for me, I think a big takeaway is that you've got to have the friends who help you fix it too.
You absolutely do. And you always got to taste as you go along too.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
mine's really good. I'm not gonna lie, mine's really good.
Mine will be good, and I'm going to take a picture, and it's going to be beautiful. It actually is, you guys, it's coming back alive. He's right.
Nice.
He's right. He's not wrong. I kind of cooked it back into its jelly form, I think, because I was not paying attention to it at all. I was so busy with my chicken.
That's it. That's all we need to do.
One of us has cooked and talked on TV before. One of us has not. Like, I can cook and I can talk, but apparently not together, or I wind up with tar. All right, I think I saved it.
Got it?
I think so. I'm going to take it right off while it's nice and liquidy and see if that does the trick here. I can't believe that thing turned out so ridiculous. But I would say, from talking to you tonight, Jeff, the big takeaway is that it matters to have somebody believe in you. They might see something that you don't even see in yourself, and you have to have fun with what you're doing. Roll with the mistakes. What am I missing? This is just going to run away again. Every time I try to make the man get philosophical. There you are. You're back. Do I have you?
Yeah, you got me.
So am I right? What am I missing? What's Chef Jeff's philosophy on finding your fairy tale and slaying those dragons?
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Give it your all. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all going to be challenged. We're all going to be tested with what we can be able to do. Push through it. I know it's so easy to say, and it's so hard sometimes to hear it, but,
Now, is that the ultimate tease or what? It's so hard to hear it, but you know what? How about I finish that? Sometimes you do your best, and it looks like this, and it's still fun. You guys, I had so much fun with you tonight. I think in the near future, I'm going to have to redeem myself when it comes to I can do it, if you believe me or not. And I'm going to make Jeff finish that thought if he can get back on before our hour is up. Otherwise, we'll post it because I think it's super important to tie that all up. But let's see. I have burned the chicken. I've turned the glaze into tar. And I had the best night ever. I hope you guys had some fun too. And we actually even have a minute. Do I dare taste it? We have a minute to touch base with Jeff before we go out. They cut you off at the ultimate minute. You said, even when you're afraid, people are afraid too. And what was it?
even if you're afraid to take a chance on yourself, believe in your abilities. Believe in what got you in that mind state to say, can I do this? You certainly can. There's no one that's holding you back. Take the chances on yourself, believe in yourself and your abilities, and just have fun in the process. If it doesn't work out, who cares? But just do something.
Who cares?
You got to do something. You know, you got to be able to just have fun. If you fail, it's okay. There's a journey in that. If you succeed, fantastic. But
so let's see that chicken. Everyone's asking to see your chicken. The journey is what counts, and if you can have a delicious dinner along the way, that's beautiful. Hold it right up to the camera. Let's see that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take the camera down here now.
Yeah, smarter.
We're going to... Boom. And all I just did at that last second was I just brought the balsamic glaze, and I just did a nice little bit of, just take a little toss here, right over that nice little bit of salad, and that way then it just dances over those chicken breasts that just kind of just dance right on top of each other here.
That's beautiful. Okay, so now I've got goals. Meantime, I've got I think I saved my sauce. I actually did. The gross part is still on the spoon, but in the pan.
All right, let's see it. I want to see that.
In the pan? You don't believe me?
Okay, all right.
So it's coming back. I
It's
have to
coming
taste it. I have to taste it and decide if it's actually edible.
Yeah.
But if not, guess what? I'm going to start over, and I'm going to consider it a great little journey. And I'm going to consider it fun.
Food is a journey. Food
all right, ready?
is a journey.
Taste burnt.
Taste burnt. All right, so hey,
over.
Start over, and that's all that counts. You
I
can
will
start
take a
over
picture
and have
of
some
it
fun in the process. And
when
I'm going to
it's
give
done.
another bite of mine here.
Show off.
Really
It's delicious.
That's really good.
Jeff, thank you so much for hanging out and cooking dinner and talking about you know, how to go after something that you weren't even planning on and making it be something successful that gives back to the community, because that is what this show is all about, is talking to real people who are making their dreams come true and finding their fairy tale in big and